Welcome to another edition of At Home with the Gamecocks, presented by Ford. We've got a treat in this interview and at-home visit here today with Christian Cunningham, the all-time shot-blocking leader in Jacksonville State basketball history. That brings a smile to your face, I see, when I say
yes,
that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
How
Always
you
a
doing,
crazy
man?
accomplishment. Doing well out in Phoenix. Here to train, get bigger, get stronger, get better. So no complaints from me.
I go back to earlier this year, I guess back in March. I know you were playing overseas. Tell us where you were. Did you get to finish the season? What happened in the midst of the pandemic?
Around March time, had 3 games left in the season. These are really big games for us to qualify for playoffs. And around March 12th, March 13th time, I think that's when the NBA had decided to suspend their season. FIBA decided to suspend their season, and then next was us with the Icelandic Federation. So next couple of days, I'm just trying to find a flight home as Trump had said borders were closing. So I was sort of like rushing here and there. It was like, look, I need to get this flight back to Albuquerque yesterday. Like I was trying to get something quick, but it all worked out. Like got back home, just ended the season where it was at. So.
Did you have to quarantine coming back in, anything like that, or did you just breeze right on through and get in?
I got into quarantine. As soon as I touched down, my family had me enter the house through the back entrance, just so I wouldn't breathe or touch anything. Just trying to look out for their health and look out for mine as well. But yeah, I was in quarantine for about 10, 11 days. I thought I had some symptoms, so I went and got tested. Luckily, they came back negative. So I got out of quarantine a little earlier than the 14 days, but that was about it.
Well, now you were in Iceland, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How was your experience there? Did you enjoy playing in a foreign country?
I definitely enjoyed playing in a foreign country. Definitely a little of a culture shock. Temperature shock as well, going from Alabama where in the summers it gets to a good 90 to being in below 30-degree weather most of the time. But it wasn't too bad. Got a lot of rain, got a lot of snow. Saw the Northern Lights for the first time, so that was an experience. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the food over there, the whole culture. And I mean, especially the basketball. The basketball was fun. Had a great time. Had an all right season. Really gave me a chance to grow. Learn some new things as well.
Well, you had a pretty good year, didn't you? Statistically speaking, points, rebounds, your numbers are very good, weren't they?
Yes, sir. 22 and 17. I think I was top 6 or 7 in the league in scoring, number 1 in rebounds and number 1 in block shots.
A lot of dunks in there, or
a lot of dunks. A lot of dunks. Fast break, post up. A little elevated from the JSU days, but some crazy dunks.
How was the attendance? You played before. Was the fan attendance pretty good?
So where I was at, I was in Selfoss, Iceland, probably about 30 minutes from the main city, Reykjavik. Small town, small little town vibes. So you get a lot of the locals coming in. You're not going to get a lot of the outside spectators unless it's like the opposing team's fans coming. So, I mean, sometimes fans will drive 8 hours just to see, but attendance was pretty well. Stands were pretty packed on certain games.
All right. As you said, you're back in Phoenix working out. What's the next step as far as your professional career from here?
Just figuring out where to go next, as in exposure for myself to continue to like climb this ladder, to get to higher places, and just have the best possible opportunity for myself.
Well, in your workouts, I guess conditioning is part of that, but just working on the all-around game. Is that what you're doing at this time?
Yeah, that's mainly the point of being out here. Just trying to be on. I have trainers out here. I have coaches out here. Just more guidance and more support for myself, for me to expand my game, for me to elevate my game, elevate my body, just get right for this upcoming season and seasons to come, to be more dominant and just try and excel and make these next steps.
You improved each year in a Jacksonville State uniform, and you were a much better player, obviously, as a senior than you were as a true freshman when you came in and played. Are you a better player now, you think, than you were when you left Jacksonville State?
Yes, sir, definitely. Just going out overseas and sort of the expectations they have for the players out there, it really just made me grow, because even I was at Jacksonville State, I was never really like the scoring guy. Like, we're not looking at Christian to go put up 20 and whatever. So we're having to go from playing a role to being the scoring guy, or
right.
being like run the ball through him. It really let me grow and elevate my game. Worked a lot on my jump shot, started pulling it more, started knocking down a couple threes this season. Obviously leading the break. So it's a complete evolution.
All right, let's go back to your career, Jacksonville State. Obviously, NCAA tournament, first time that had ever happened for Jacksonville State in Division I. I guess, is that the big highlight for you and what you guys accomplished that junior season, getting to the NCAA tournament in Indianapolis? Yeah,
that was definitely a beautiful memory. Being in Indianapolis, playing at the Bankers Life, the whole experience, winning the OVC tournament, just great time, great energy. Yeah, definitely a beautiful moment for myself.
Jason Burnell, I know he's playing overseas. Some of the other guys, I think, are playing. Do you stay in touch with the guys, keep up with them?
From time to time, we keep up, communicate here and there, checking in on each other, just see how each other is doing. I was talking to Malcolm just a couple of days ago, talking about nothing. But yeah, I mean, if there's a chance I go out to California, I'll definitely try and see what he's up to, or trying to get in the gym with him, something.
He's playing overseas too. I'd forgotten about Malcolm. He's had some good times. You guys sort of grew up together, you and Malcolm Drumright, did you not?
Yeah, as in for I was at JSU. I was a freshman when I was a freshman when he was a sophomore, and then that was my guy for the next 3 years.
You came to Jacksonville State, Albuquerque, obviously a little bit larger than Jacksonville State, but you handled that adjustment. Everything worked pretty well for you, didn't it, coming into the small town?
Yeah. I sort of got used to like the whole moving aspect, playing for new teams. I mean, when I first got to the South, I was shook. I didn't know what was going on. They just threw me into some classes. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I probably had a tour my first day there. Then 2 days later, school starts. So I had to get quickly adjusted, but handled it well. Definitely grew. Definitely figured how things work. It was a good time.
Well, and I think one of the off seasons, didn't you go play overseas for one summer away from home too?
Oh, yes, sir. That was with Reach USA to Belize. That was a real fun trip. Got to meet some good guys that are also currently playing overseas now. Had fun, experienced a different culture, tried also some amazing food. Just got to play basketball and do what I love.
Did that help you, having already been overseas and playing like that a little bit during the summer? Did that help you in this first year that you played in a foreign league in professional basketball?
Playing in Belize was sort of a little bit lower, but just like the concepts, because I know there's some other guys from America, and just like talking back and forth, just trying to catch the vibe of how things worked in overseas basketball. I was just really hearing them out and just learning that if they're bringing you over to pay you money to play basketball, you better be the guy. So, I mean, you better produce if they're gonna pay. Like, so it just sort of like set my mindset on how things are done overseas.
All right. Appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy getting ready and working out. Hey, good to talk to you. Great to see you. Come see us here
Thank you.
At JSU. And, man, best of luck. Continued success, professional basketball.
Thank you.
Christian Cunningham, part of the first ever Jacksonville State basketball team to make the NCAA Division I postseason tournament. Our guest on this edition of At Home with the Gamecocks, presented by Ford.